Hey guys, and welcome back to Hi, my name is Alex. I have to tell you this, one thing or another, this challenge has been quite interesting for me. For those who don't know, thank you for joining. And this is my 2-month challenge, creating 3 videos every week just to see if I can do the same, because I'm seeing more people doing this type of form of content, which is just me talking to a camera just like this, sharing their life stories, and just booming on YouTube, just going crazy. And I want to see if I can do this, because if I can pull this off, then so can you. And I want to demonstrate that this is possible, and it can become a possible side hustle while we're at it. Now, what I find really interesting doing this particular little challenge to myself is that how easy it is to do. It is really easy, because all you're doing, right, and I'm gonna make it as simple as possible so you guys can do this too, is you're sharing your life story in front of a camera and making sure that your audio and visual is decent. By far, that is very important, guys. By far, anything else, your audio and visual has to be good. And then besides that, your stories are your stories. That's your content. That's your content. That's your story, guys. And people can share it out and hear your experiences. And while you're at it, of course, like I said before, you have the concept and the ability to maybe infuse other offers or strategies or methods for other people to grow. Because frankly, I kind of want you guys to do the same too and grow with me, And while doing this, I'm already doing some bulk. So what I'm doing myself is that I'm doing these 10-minute-ish videos. That's kind of the length I'm going for, and doing this bulk build and then kind of posting it up and letting it do its thing. Yeah, that's kind of really all I'm doing. And I'm seeing other people doing just that, doing just the same. So I'm going, I can do that. Now, unfortunately, if you are replying back and you're leaving a comment down, first of all, I want to say thank you so much. But just understand that I can't get back to you immediately because of my situation. It only allows me to come back every few months or so to review all the comments from the past videos. So if you have reached to this point and you are following along, I'm really grateful and I do appreciate it, guys. But if my replies are slow, I'm going to apologize first, but know that we'll get back to you by the end of the month. Most likely by the end of the month or month-ish, but that's kind of my, how can I call it? My upload schedule. Yeah, my upload scheduling. And my method right now, how I'm doing it is I'm submitting it 3 videos every week at random times and random days. And the reason why I'm doing that, because I'm trying to figure out where my audience really is. And what I mean by that, your analytics kind of tell you what time people are awake for watching your material. And if I can figure out those times, then I can then submit it on those regular basis. So that way I don't miss people out who didn't get a chance to see what I was able to offer in sharing my boring life. But anyway, hopefully that's enjoyable. And also I learned that very, very basic things, like you want to be able to target the group you want, but you don't want to share out to your friends and family. And I said this before, there's kind of no point doing that, because if you do that, they may be into what you're doing, or they may not be, and they may not actually watch your entire videos, and that actually can hurt you. And I'll explain it very quickly here. So what happens with the YouTube algorithm, right, is that when you share content and people are watching your videos, the idea is that it's actually analytically watching you, collecting data if the individual is actually watching the video from start to finish. Now that's a big deal. That's a very, very big deal, because it shows that your content's being watched and being seen, and that's important. The second part is that for those who are subscribing, are they just subscribing either because of a pity, or they enjoy that one thing you shared at the time and stop watching you completely? That's also hurtful, because you don't really know which ones are your main true group of people who love your work, who's seen it and want to give you a hand to continue, right? So that's a big deal too. So you're trying to find those group of people that you're niching down, that are watching your content, that are binge watching you, that are literally binge watching what you're sharing, your stories, and everything that you want to do in between. So that's a really big deal. And if you know that, so that's kind of how it does it. And then after that, it throws your videos around to a group of 50 to 100 people surveying groups. And once it surveys those group of people, that new group of audience, that potential people to watch you, it then feeds it into them, and it throws it, and it keeps throwing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And if the content's not being shared and reshared and constantly being thrown around, then it then hits dead water. And unless new people are joining your channel and then now binge watching your older stuff, it doesn't really go anywhere. There's nowhere to go. There's no place for it to go. It gets stuck in the rut. So that's kind of the vicious cycle you're in as a content creator, and as I'm learning, as I'm growing into this, that you're in that mess. So strategies to reapproach that that really tends that seem to be working, and I'm kind of sneakily seeing that on YouTube as well for content creators. They're kind of repurposing their videos, or they're changing their titles or thumbnails just a little bit, so then what they've shared months ago is being reshared again, and it seems to be working. And the one part I have to say above everything else that you guys should do and really perform when you're doing this is that you should, how can I describe this, is basically understand that your videos may hit dead water for a while. It will. There's some videos that you thought you did all this work and you love it and you edited and you made it fancy and beautiful, whatever you did, or maybe your story was really engagement and you said, you know what, people are gonna love this, they're gonna absolutely love it, only for it to flop. And that's very, very normal, very, very normal as a content creator. And you can experience this head on without a doubt. And you find your video is going to go down for like 0, 1 view, 2 views, 14 views, 15 views, maybe even hit 100 views or under, and that's all you're going to get, and it stays dead for months. And then all suddenly, after 6 months, boom, a spike goes up, and it does really well. And that spike, what happened? Why did that video suddenly just jumped? Because somewhere down the line, you've been consistently posting up videos. You've hit it. You managed to hit a viral video, or you've managed to engage enough to someone who's really loved your work and really watching your material, and you're growing in it and you're expanding it, and that's crazy, because that's the amazing part about a lot of content creators out there. They're just somehow just developing, growing. Sorry, I'm looking at my computer screen at the same time here. And literally growing within their field. And this is something that I want you guys to understand, that that's kind of what these small content creators are experiencing, right? And you're getting kicked out before you even had a chance to boom. So, but at the same time, amazing that those, and I've actually seen some small content creators out there sharing their stories, sharing their content, and it's really nothing more than their life stories, nothing more than what I'm doing right now. My life stories, my experiences, my view on things, and what I'm experiencing as I'm doing this, and as I'm challenging myself here. And then just boom overnight, or they boom a couple of weeks down the track, or a month or so down the track, without doing much. And that's where I'm kind of get at, guys, is that it's unpredictable of where the YouTube algorithm takes you, or where your channels are going at, or what your videos are trying to share, because what you thought was good might be bad to someone else. But might end up actually being a gold mine episode if you just let it wait, let it grow, let it prosper. Because some people are like blowing up 10 months down the track, a year-ish down the track, and those videos are starting to gain traction. All the videos where they submitted 6 or 10 or 12 months ago, a year ago, is only gaining traction a year after. Crazy, right? But this is what's happening. You see that common trend, especially those who are new content creators, suddenly got monetized, but it wasn't sudden. They say they got tact, they had strategy involved to go on there. But all of them say one common theme. They kept at it. Consistency helps build growth, momentum. It kind of builds into something more. And that's something I want to tell you guys, is that don't give up on this. Keep on doing it. Doesn't matter who's not watching it. Forget about your family and friends today. Let the YouTube algorithm do its thing. Just forget about it. Focus more about the story, the content you're trying to share. You know, put your tags up there, which is basically simple and direct. Make sure your description is pretty much dead on point, so you're not boring the audience, and just try to tell your story, kind of pinpoint what you need to do. And even the other part where you can actually segment each part of where your videos are at. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do that, but if I do, I'll put it in there. Kind of segment all the parts and really tell your story, because you, my friends, you have a story to tell. And I'm just going to just share everything I have in mind, everything that comes to, like, you know, piques my interest, and then you guys know and grow as well, because that's how you do it. You know, that's a lot of people who are doing just that. You 100%, by all means, are more than qualified to do this, because come on, there are children who are doing this. So if our kids can jump on and do anything and have fun doing it, as adults, come on, you have even more to share. You've got lifetimes of stories to share, lifetime of stories to share, of funny things that happen to you, things that happen at work, things that you can offer, your hobbies, you name it. You are an interesting person more than you know it. I think the most important thing is that you need to learn first is to break down what interests you most, and if what you find interesting, can you talk about that for the rest of your life? I can talk about the rest of my life because this is my life. How much easier than you want to talk about than the life that you've already walked through, right? So that's content itself. I'm just giving you examples here. Or other means that things that you enjoy, or just funny things that's going on, and write it down in a book, because again, a book, a notepad, or a book that you're going to follow gives clear disciplinary action towards what you're doing. You're going to make action by writing it down and saying, I will do this. And you there's something about marking or ticking it off, that process of doing things that makes the human mind click and you work better, more efficiently, more effectively. Right, guys? So that's something that's really cool. That's really cool in doing this. So as always, I'm probably yapping on too long, but hopefully that gives you some guidance to be more confident to do this. All I'm trying to do is motivate you and to say that you can do this, and no matter what age. I'm getting close to my 40, guys. Come on. If I'm doing this, I'm not just challenging myself, you can do this as well. And I hope you're enjoying yourself so far. So anyway, as always, if you happen to share the same collab, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. We can go on a Zoom call. We can speak about this more, have some fun, yeah? And as always, you can leave a like, dislike, comment, whatever you want down below, because that really helps me and helps me with my challenge right now. So come on, guys, we can do this. We'll push it together. Besides that, thank you for seeing this episode, and I'll see you in the next one of Hi, my name is Alex. See you later now. Bye.